the Trevor Jackson podcast.
This. Now, I want to play this video because the chaos is going on in the district. And DC is one of my favorite cities on the planet. I love the multicultural city. I love the education. I love the libraries, the museum, the politics, the food. You know, I just like DC. I like where it's located at and everything. It's not the South or the North. It's just multicultural. So we get ready to play the videos that I seen, the chaos. We're gonna play some videos from natives of DC and people talking to the National Guard and law enforcement versus community and all types of stuff. But let's get into the conversation, man.
Runner! Who got the fuck? Who just got the fuck? I don't even know.
Send that blitz.
Who just ran, y'all?
Who just ran?
Look at him.
Damn! Oh shit! Oh, no!
Hey! Why the fuck are we putting him in handcuffs? You don't have no reason to put this man in handcuffs, sir. I'm not close to you. I'm just saying. Back up. Don't get close enough. Back up. Just back up. All we saying is why y'all putting this man in handcuffs? He showed you he has nothing. What y'all want? Yeah, get me on camera, boy. I'm legal, nigga. Fuck is you talking about? I got me on camera, boy. He put this man in handcuffs with no reason. Hey, don't push him, y'all. Don't push them. He had no reason to put this man in handcuffs. Y'all, calm down, y'all. Relax. Illegally detained. No, he said, look, calm down. Back up. Calm down, y'all. He said he only detained a name, bruh. Calm down, y'all. Everybody calm down, y'all.
Out they face. Get out they face, y'all. Get out they face.
Jack, back up, Jack.
Get out they face, man. Get out they face. This nigga acting like he about to fight the fed. Yeah, mo fight.
We make child brother good. I don't care about child rednecks. Y'all come from motherfucking Albuquerque coming down here. Y'all don't even care about the black community.
Old ass, bro. What the fuck?
Oh, they trying to shoot. Oh, they trying to shoot, man. Oh, my mother, they shoot.
He walking with the fuck. Mo, Jack, calm down. He's gonna take your ass to jail. Mo, what the fuck, y'all? Hey, y'all, don't leave Frank dog, y'all. Make sure they don't arm Frank dog.
You know, that looked just like the neighborhood I grew up in, man. One thing I've come to grips with when I left the city that I grew up in, because I'm going to be specific. I grew up in Knoxville, Tennessee. For people that don't know or that's new to my channel, it's a city that's like 83% white and 15% black, and the rest is other. So you have to learn how to communicate with a multitude of individuals. And when I left my hometown and been traveling the world, I see that like cities that's majority black or majority of a mixed community cities, people can stay in their area and they don't know how to articulate themselves to multiple cultures. And that's bad in this country because the communication, people are not understanding each other. The the young black guys are not understanding what's happening or what's going on when people are coming into a neighborhood that they live in. Because I want to address something too that may sound harsh, But I come to realize as I got older about this, you know, they don't know how to articulate themselves with the other people that's coming in enforcing the law. The law don't know how to articulate themselves to them because they don't know the language of the street. And that's if you not even in the street in law enforcement. That's if you go to corporate America, those people don't speak like the people in the rap community. Sports people don't speak like people in the tech world. It's just a totally different place, even though social media is making the world smaller and people are being able to like blend their languages together. It's just that people don't know how to articulate themselves. But I want to say something about, you know, what I seen, because it was a lot of young black brothers out there. It wasn't no OGs or no older individuals. I've done a multitude of shows on my channel saying, did the OGs fail the youth? And I'm one of them. You know, I feel like we did. A lot of people combat that conversation, and I seen in both of those shows, the OGs who watched the shows said, did the youth fail the OG? Because the youth doesn't listen to the OG. Well, I feel as if the youth isn't going to listen to a man that they feel as if failed them, or they don't know how to communicate with them, or they don't show interest in what they're interested in. Also, you just come and spewing information. You know, you got to intertwine with what they like and what they interested in also, so you can have a perspective. So I feel as if the OGs didn't teach the youth how to articulate themselves around a multitude of individuals because they don't know how to articulate themselves. That's just my opinion, man. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comment section, but let's further that discussion also. Now, another thing that I seen by just looking at this video, you know, my perspective, black people don't have a community. You know, it's neighborhoods. And I don't even think that black people own that neighborhood. You know, they are there to combat homelessness and crime. This is going to sound despicable to a few because a lot of people are going to be able to see themselves in this space and they're not going to want to agree with it. That is not the black community. That is a federally funded community that's giving you benefits to live in it at a lower rate or for free because you had children. That's not your hood or your neighborhood. You living in there free. You basically homeless if the government didn't assist you. You know, the word homeless also, I had a long conversation with one of my partners that's in the real estate industry, and we had a conversation about the word homeless. You know how many people, it's more people that's homeless than, you know, we will want to think is. We think that a person who is renting an apartment has a roof over their head, has a home or a place to go. You only got a place to go for as long as that contractual agreement you have, that year lease, or you live in month to month. But in our reality, you don't own, you're homeless. Homeless means you don't have a home. Because you live in an apartment or you got a roof over your head don't mean that you have a home. It's a lot more people that's homeless than we would like to think in this country. And it's actually sad, to be honest with you. You know, it's actually sad. Let's further the discussion, man, and move along in the conversation, man. For real.
These are your own fucking citizens. These are homeless people. You guys are fucking cool. Don't let them do this to you. It's abusive to you, and now you're gonna get fucked when you're fucked up and you have to go to the VA and they cut all your services. Refuse now. Do not do this. You have an obligation to refuse unlawful orders. Okay?
You know, that's interesting to me because I feel as if some people that's homeless choose to be homeless. That man approached that National Guard vehicle and said, "You can refuse. You can refuse." You know, I go to places that I don't like on a consistent basis where I work at, but I'm not too good for it, man. My ego ain't in the way. Like, people in this country, this is a capitalist country. If you refuse to contribute to the system, then the system will eat you up because it's a system. Not saying that it's right, not saying that it's wrong, because some people embrace it and they thrive in it. But I feel as if some people choose to be homeless. And you know, it's just looking at that video and that guy saying that you can refuse this. Those people who doing that job, they don't want to be homeless. The system is getting the best of all of us. It's not a morally correct system. United States isn't a morally correct country, but it's still, to me, the best country on the planet. Like, you can go to other countries that's not a capitalist society, that's a more socialist and all of that, and see how well you'll do there. Like, leave if you don't want to contribute to this or whatever, if you don't want to work. Like, some people feel as if they're too good to humble themselves and continue to fight on and on and on. Some people have health issues. It's just a lot that goes into it. And I feel as if, with the way that the country is in debt, I hate to say this, the way that the country is in debt, being able to provide for a whole lot of people, to be able to get the society back rolling and back working, people going to have to work. Some of these things are going to have to be defunded, because when Biden was in office for a while, it seems as if there wasn't no laws, rules, or regulations in this country, and people was just doing whatever they wanted to do. That's what I see. Let's continue on in the conversation. This is the community versus law enforcement.
Whether you want to believe it or not.
I didn't say it wasn't. I wouldn't be here talking
The
about it.
conversation that needs to happen between law enforcement and community, we need to be able to hear both sides.
Correct.
Now, your thing is, you saying there's no law there, right?
No, I didn't say no law.
Okay, well, no law there, but no standing in front of, there must have been some kind of complaints coming from the establishment. The problem is that people live in this building, people live on this street, and they're used to this. Now, it looks different for law enforcement that's saying, oh, this is a high crime area, things of that nature.
I mean, that's true.
And, okay, that could be true allegedly, right?
It's not allegedly. The little girl's bill that's on the wall, that didn't come from
that. That's true.
That came from the drive-by shooting that 5 people know.
That
I was here saving her mother's life.
That did.
Unfortunately, that girl didn't survive.
But see,
you wouldn't know that. I was there. I was there.
But this is the thing. A conversation of you letting the people know that they respect you more. Because they love her so much, them knowing that now, they will respect you a lot more. Just because they know that house.
That we were there for that.
No, not
we go around. We're not talking about Brad. That's not our job. We don't have to tell them what we've done, whose lives we saved, because that's our job.
Yeah.
It's a thankless job. We don't expect thanks
But
from
this is
everybody.
Officer Griffin. This is Officer Griffin. Let's say you lived in Largo. If something happened to your parent and I was the one doing CPR on that person, you would thank me and shake my hand. So what I'm saying
I wouldn't
is,
expect you to walk around telling everybody that you saved.
I did, but what I'm saying is, there is a disconnection between community and law enforcement, and until we figure out how to get it together and have a conversation, it's going to be you chasing them and them saying fuck you and all that other stuff. We don't have to be there. We can get to a point where Officer Lingham, when I know you, and we say, hey, look, we got a complaint, we need y'all to move. And you can have this shit cleared out off respect. Not off running down. Not off running down.
It came a long way. I'm saying you're a couple of officers. I ain't gonna name you a couple of officers that do that. They come here with some long way.
Y'all appreciate your service. We gotta figure out a way to get
you right, without we don't guess what? It ain't no cuss out, it ain't no y'all chasing them. You're not
it's not fuck the police. It's not that.
Everything that you're saying is and these conversations don't happen because people don't see it from your standpoint. They don't look at it like that. People look at it as us versus them. The reason why we have these issues and we have it right now is because too many times, like I said, I've been out there saying the same thing over and over and over and over again. And eventually it gets old. So where we're not on, hey, gentlemen, no, you're only going to get so many sirs, man. Gentlemen.
it was a lot of points made in that video because community, right? Even though they don't own the community or they don't have a hold of the community, they live there. And communication between them and the law enforcement needs to be had. But if they ain't cleaning up the activities that's going on in the community, like the officer said, not taking the officer's side, but what he said is the truth. It gets old. It's gonna get old. We had these conversations with you. You're not a community leader because somebody died right down the street, just yesterday. And we gotta clean it up. We have to come in and clean it up. Not saying that what they doing is right or whatever though, but man, this is just a sad situation looking at it in DC. And it's catching my attention because it's the community that people that look like me, people that have to deal with the same struggles that I had to deal with. To me, to be honest with y'all, man, get focused. Get off the street, man. Hanging, I remember that repetition, like how I repetitively don't want to go to work, how I repetitively don't want to go to the gym and work out. I repetitively get tired of getting on. I enjoy doing podcasts, but let me tell y'all something. The consistency of it is kind of draining from time to time. Now, when I was in the streets, I competitively got tired. I repetitively got tired of standing on the corner. I repetitively got tired of just sitting on the back of the cars in the hood. It was boring. It was just the same thing over and over and over again. And you got to do something different if you want to make a change. Real talk, man. You got to do something different. Now, I'm talking about the neighborhoods in the black communities, but I want to show y'all something too though. And this is not defending Trump or defending the troops or whatever though, but they're also in affluent neighborhoods also.
Where is it? What?
First one I saw. So my thought is not much going on here, so maybe they're practicing. Come on.
Georgetown to me is an affluent place. I remember going there on my birthday in 2023 just to get away from the city or whatever. And Georgetown, they was charging $50 to park. Was like, golly. And then we was looking at properties and, condos and stuff in Georgetown. They got $1 million condos up there. They had a lot of designer stores on that street that they was walking on, because I just remember being on that street. And it was thriving. It was cold too. We was up there in January and it was cold. I remember seeing people that own those condos have to pay for parking like a couple of $1,000s a year. They got to do leases for parking spots. So that's an affluent community, and they're up there patrolling also. Not Trump is just out. I feel like, and I said it on the episode last week, I feel like this is an experiment. I see black people in other cities saying that they want crime cleaned up in Chicago. It's a lot of videos. I should have pulled up one of those videos, but I didn't get a chance to where they said, man, come to Chicago and clean it up because this is horrible. It's a multitude of places. He could have went to Memphis and did the same thing. But I feel like this is a start. This is an experiment. And to my people that's in DC and from DC, man, tap into the show in the comment section, man, and educate me on what's really going on, you know, at the grassroots of the situation, because I want to be educated on it, because I love DC, man. That's a place I would like to live at, but in the surrounding counties, not in the city. They got to clean that city up, man. Another reason, before I go to the next topic, that the city needs to be cleaned up bad, that's the headquarters for the leadership of the United States. I don't know how it is in other countries, like where the president resides at. You know, the ground root of the country, like where all the politicians and the people that make decisions are located at. But that being a spot where you got heroin addicts 100 yards away from the White House, homeless people with tents, drug dealers and violence going on, and it's been going on for years, is interesting. Even though, you know, they're saying the Democratic Party, the left side or whatever, is saying that crime is significantly down. Then you have the Republicans saying that they're fudging what was and what is crime. They're changing the terminology based upon what they consider something as. And it's just, I don't know what to believe and who to believe. That's why I'm independent, because I don't trust none of the people in politics.
The Trevor Jackson Podcast.